Hey, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from Las Vegas. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Friday, March the 6th. We're going to be loaded up with college basketball here on Saturday. We're going wall to wall finally. Yeah, there have been a couple of early games this week, but nothing like today where it's dry rehearsal for the tournament. We got games noon Eastern, 9 Pacific, getting rolling all day in some mid-major conferences here. We're also wrapping up some regular season as well. We'll preview only conference tournament games here on Night Moves tonight. I know that for sure. But we'll also preview here tonight NBA, NHL, and we'll also look at, World Baseball Classic. We're just a couple of hours away from our next day of action here at the World Baseball Classic, like those games over there in Japan that we can watch here at 5 Eastern, 2 Pacific. And it's Shohei night tonight at the World Baseball Classic here in the Tokyo Dome. Japan will be underway here in just a few hours in their opening matchup against Chinese Taipei. Japan's going to be a pretty big favorite here in this game. There's a full slate of games tomorrow here, actually, with the action mostly here over stateside, but get underway early over there with the action tonight with Japan and Chinese Taipei. Right now, Japan is a pretty heavy favorite, of course, with Otani, and don't forget, looking at the matchup here, they do have Yoshi Yamamoto on the mound here, and not only do you have Otani, you got Murakami as well. So Chinese Taipei was struggling offensively a little bit in their opener. They're also missing probably one of their key bats in Lee Hao-yu. So Japan has the firepower, I think, to probably roll here. We kind of missed there with Australia. Weren't able to get that run line there last night. But so I expect Japan's pitching to be pretty solid here against Chinese Taipei. But, you do have the pitch count limit with starting pitchers in the opening round. So sometimes that does lead to some late scoring. It didn't necessarily in the second game out there in the Tokyo Dome tonight. But I would think Japan can get this one done. Minus, I think, 4.5. It might be a little bit juiced here. You might have to go to -5 runs. Tonight, let's see, 4.5 minus 125. I'm going to take Japan here. If that feels uncomfortable there, maybe you want to go to the total. I'd probably still look over. Like I said, with the bullpens, you got to work into the bullpen a little bit more in these opening rounds. So, there've been an under there last night in the game. Did have those results here. Of course, Australia beat Chinese Taipei 3-0 to open the tournament. Then it was Korea last night. And remember, we led into it and said, go ahead and lay Korea with the 6.5 runs. It did go over. I know it was kind of teasing that maybe it would be closer to 9-2. It ended up being 11-4, but Korea got there yesterday, covered for us on the show here. So we did have that winner. I guess we're 1-0 actually on the Night Move show. Maybe 1-1. Like I said, I thought maybe it would still stay under, but I was almost trying to thread the needle Australia beat Czechia 5-1 earlier tonight. Game just ended a few hours ago. So other games here on Friday include Cuba and Japan, Netherlands and Venezuela, Mexico and Great Britain, Puerto Rico and Colombia, Nicaragua and Dominican Republic, USA and Brazil, and wrap it up here at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 Pacific as we head back over to Japan for Chinese Taipei and Czechia. That's how it's working out here as we get back underway in pool play here in the United States today as we finally get the rest of the tournament rolling here at the World Baseball Classic. Thank you for joining me here on Night Moves. We're going to preview some other action as well, but we're going to recap a little bit of play here from yesterday and some of our picks here and some of the tournament action that we saw there get underway for, I felt like it was a card that was really starting to really kick it in gear here for what we're going to expect over the next few weeks. And yeah, there was some conference play as well. How about Michigan winning over Iowa, but Iowa got the money there. Michigan was having problems holding on to the ball there a little bit. They were turning it over. So Iowa fading a little bit here. They got the money last night. Louisiana Tech over Liberty in an upset, 76-71 as the sophomore Bates, 34 points for Tech in that one. Liberty's actually lost 3 of 4. So, you know what? You're looking for a mid-major to get a run going. I'm not sure it's going to be Liberty this time around. Tournament action, Missouri Valley, Valpo in a thriller, 63-62 at Arch Madness. Arch Madness goes under again all 3 games. Now, Evansville and Northern Iowa did go over the opening number, but it went all the way up to 128. That is now a 16-4 run in Arch Madness to the under here, dating back to last season. All 3 went under today. There's no reason to think it might not happen again here today. The Missouri Valley Conference is under city right now, and that's what a lot of people are talking about coming on with the opening round matchups here. Also, some other regular season action. South Florida over Memphis, 96-89. The Bulls have won 8 in a row, and Memphis has lost 7 in a row. They're heading to a losing season, first time this century for Memphis. Fullerton over UCSD. Also there, a little bit of an upset. Fullerton wins at home, 75-71. UCSD led by 9 with 9 minutes left in the game, but they blew it there in that one. Also out of the Missouri Valley there yesterday, I want to mention also Drake. We had Southern Illinois here, but Drake got a nice upset there over Southern Illinois. Other conference tournament play in the MAAC. We had the games with Sacred Heart and Iona there yesterday, and Sacred Heart came and played very, very well in that game. And, not all according to plan so far here in conference tournament season. Sacred Heart got the upset win, 91-88 in an upset there in the MAAC. Did have a winner here on Night Moves last night with Southeast Missouri State. We had them over Lindenwood here on the show last night. Yeah, Lindenwood might have been getting some attention, but we went with SEMO there in that one. We also had a winner here on Night Moves last night in the Summit League. We actually took an under. Summit League did go 2-0 to the under, which is interesting because they're the highest scoring league, maybe outside of the SEC, but still, I guess team for team, they are the high scoring league. But both games did go under. We had the under here on Night Moves there yesterday in the game between South Dakota State and St. Thomas. We also were talking about St. Thomas in there, and they did get the cover there yesterday in the Summit. Also, late night tonight, USD. We had LMU, but USD got the win. In case you missed it, late night action here in Las Vegas with University of San Diego. Steve Labin, it's already been fired, but he's playing out, coaching out the string here anyway. And USD got the upset win there yesterday. So, also out at the Patriot League, we did see here. Bucknell was lost to Navy, but they did get the cover there yesterday. We had the under in the American Boston University game, but it did get over there in that one. But just Boston likely got the money. They opened 3, close a pick, win the game by 2 there for the Terriers. There in that one, Colgate rocked Loyola, Maryland there, and it was Lehigh winning against Holy Cross, but Holy Cross got the money. Hopefully you had a good day in conference tournaments, and we're going to be right back at it today here. I'm going to go over one game from each conference today, so that's going to give us about 10 games to look at here on Night Moves. Also, NBA, we did have winners here last night on Night Moves, including the Miami Heat over Brooklyn. We had them in the Tankathon to get it done there yesterday. We also had the total under Raptors and Timberwolves, a winner there last night here on Night Moves. So hopefully come back here today and bring in some winners, because I don't know if we had very many winners there in the NBA. NHL wasn't quite as nice either, but we did have Columbus over Florida yesterday as Columbus continued to roll. We have the Utah Mammoth on the road there yesterday against the Philadelphia Flyers. So able to pull home a couple winners there in Night Moves, but it feels like we have to get it going here with my picks as well. Man, I could only manage a 3 and 4 day here at Tony'sPicks.com. Let me say hello to everybody in the chat, and then I'll go over to the website and see what's going on with our handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Tim was here early. He's ready to go. And I think Mr. Weskers is ready to bet on Kalshi here. Maybe I'll talk to Tony. Maybe we'll just have a Kalshi specific show where we predict what's going on in the rest of the world, not just the world of sports. Hello to Cal Dog joining us tonight in the chat, part of the Chat Pros. You can be a member of the Chat Pros too. Just comment along with me here as we get rolling with the show, and you can put your predictions up, and I just pick the best the cleanest comments from the chat and show them on screen. So it's all about your picks as well, not just mine. All right. Let's see here. Timmy, good riddance to a JMU. Okay. Cal Dog with some, he's a little bit steamy and a little bit steamy in there. Are those the happy smile there? All right. I think that might be it. Let me go over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com, where you can pick up our premium picks every day. Absolutely our best picks over at Tony'sPicks.com. Check out the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot. Then go to their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. Let's take a look at who was on top. I was not on top. Remember the good old days last week when I was dominating the handicapper leaderboards? I might have the wrong focus here. I love that tennis tournament out there in Indian Wells. We're in conference tournament play. Maybe my focus wasn't as sharp. Maybe I should be really bearing down on conference tournament action with my premiums. We do so much work of it here on the show. Sometimes I give out some great picks here. Let's see what we got. Stephen Duncan, man, it's hockey season. If Stephen is continuing to rock this, you guys might as well just get on board with Stephen. I'm telling you right now, 6-1 here right now. We'll look at his other numbers here, but another great day from Stephen Duncan. Nick Lagarettos, a basketball expert from Greece. He's 4-0 today. Tom Regard, another winning day here. Brian Bittler, 3-2. Hollywood Sam, 1-0. Mills Young, 1-0. We'll get ready for UFC action here this weekend. Just 2 days away. We're here in Las Vegas for the BMF title. That's not some bowling acronym. That's you know what. So got a great title fight here. It's actually a ceremonial title, but Max Holloway and Charles Oliveira, anybody of the fans of the UFC, pretty familiar with these two. Both of them have over 30 professional fights in the UFC. two of the baddest guys around, and they're going to be going at it here in a lightweight bout, top 4 contenders on Saturday. Mills always has us covered with our UFC picks. Al Ninos, another day, another winner for Al Ninos, you guys. It just non-stop. Kevin Thomas, 2-1 yesterday. Take a look at the handicapper leaderboards over the last 7 days. You got Stephen Duncan up there. He's already up 12 units here, crushing the hockey. Kevin Thomas up there, 13-8 over the last 7 days. Brian Bittler, 17-12. Mills Young, 10-6. Al Ninos, 5-2. Jonathan Solo Malone up there as well. And Damian Sosh in the green last 30 days. Stephen Duncan up there. He's already up 25 units over the last 30 days. Nick Lagarectos up nearly 13 units. Mills Young up nearly 5 2/3 units. I'm up there still, hanging on. Up 5.5 units over the last 30 days. Al Ninos up 3.5 units here and over the year. Stephen Duncan, man, he's already up 54 units. We're only a little more than 2 months into the year. You got to get hooked up with Stephen Duncan over at Tony'sPicks.com. Click on the handicapper leaderboards, find the handicapper of your choice, click on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you get signed up. You see, Stephen, it's not just all about the NHL, but it's all about many of these sports here right now, especially in the prop department as well. That's where Stephen's been doing a lot of work here. Look at, he's got all these props winning here tonight. Sorokin over in that game there with the Kings last night. He had Clark in there to get a goal. How about to top his shots on goal there at minus $1.62. And over here in the Islanders and the Kings game, Islanders didn't get it done there last night. You had the Senators on the puck line as well. So I love some of these. If you miss this, you crazy, he says. Stephen there on the Senators on the three-way there. Great job, Stephen, on fire. All right. So keep it rolling here and get ready for the action here today at Tony's Picks. Say hello to a few more folks here in the chat. We get rolling. We have a long show because we got a lot of games. So let's see here. Who else is coming in? We had Tim M. He's ready for Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. Look, they're tomorrow's game, they're taking on Brazil. They're basically favored by 10 runs in that game. The total's 14.5. So see what they do. I mean, that's actually giving Brazil a lot of credit there, isn't it? I mean, basically saying the game that Brazil's going to score 4 runs here, possibly against the U.S. 10-4. Is that really going to be the score there? About 10-4? No, that wouldn't even be right. That's not even 10 runs. 13-2, 13-2. 13-2, 13-3, right around there. 13-2. Yeah, it'd be 13-2 or 13-1, basically, is what they're saying. All right. Yeah, busy day here. We might as well get started. I mean, there's a lot of news and notes out there, but we really got to get going with the show here and get to these games. So really appreciate you joining me here on Night Moves. Hey, when you're over there at Tony'sPicks.com, use the promo code TonyT at checkout to save 15% off all premium pick packages. Basically the 3 packs, 5 packs, 7 packs over at Tony'sPicks.com. Those longer term packages are already sold at great discount prices. So might as well get hooked up with me on a Friday on a 3-day package over at Tony'sPicks.com. You can get 3 days for $99 and ride with me here this weekend. And I'll have my focus on a little better. How's that? You can see all the sports that I'm profitable in as well. Those are my numbers right there. NBA, tennis, soccer, NFL, college baseball here right now. We got a job there a little bit today with BYU, though. They blew that lead after a comeback there. College football earlier before it got wrapped up, and NHL. I'm going to try to improve that number a little bit. So you can see all the sports I'm profitable in. I'm just very consistent and playing a lot of different sports. Maybe got to be a little more ready there at Indian Wells, 2-2 yesterday with my picks. So, all right, let's get going with the show. We got a lot of great games and a lot of great picks here today. And I want to hear from you in the chat as well. Your picks are welcome, and I show them up there on the screen as we roll with the show. All right. All right, here we go. First up, let's go. Oh, Andre Wingfield, he's here today. Okay, had some tennis action in there. Let's go to the NBA here right now and start it off. Heat and Hornets here in this one. Look at those. We're starting off good here for sure. And here today, I think, all the games involve teams that are still either in contention or already in the playoffs. Nobody's getting left out here. So we're going to look at all 7 games in the NBA here right now. And we're going to start with this one with the Heat and the Hornets, and it is a big game in terms of the playoff positioning here between these two teams. I mean, right now you have the Heat hanging on for dear life, it seems like right now. And, they've had their moments, and they're on a 3-game winning streak. I think they've understood the urgency here. Who are they trying to hold off? This team right here, the Charlotte Hornets, on fire, and what a turnaround as well for these Charlotte Hornets. Look, there are some good teams in the East. We know we have the big news coming up in the next game I'm going to be talking about. Jason Tatum's return here on Friday night. You've got Cleveland, you've got the Knicks, you've got Detroit, you've got everything going on here. But the Hornets are feels like a better team than their 32-31 record right now would suggest. They've matured greatly this season. They're pretty much at the peak of their success here right now on a long winning streak. The Heat have won 3 in a row here, although they beat Houston at home, and then they beat up on the Brooklyn Nets over the last 2 games. But you know what? All you can do is cover the spread, and that's what they've done. They're on a good cover run. They're 19-12 against the spread on the road, 18-11 against the spread as an underdog. Meanwhile, for the Hornets, they've won 6 straight. They've covered 9 in a row right now. I mean, that's how we measure. That's how we keep score here. Miami's won 6 of their last 8. They've covered all 6 of those victories, 6-2 ATS for the Heat. They've also covered 6 of the last 8 meetings against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, this is a new and improved Charlotte team, no doubt about it. 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Charlotte has really stepped up their scoring in this whole situation, but it's really been their defense has been, I think, more of note. Charlotte's 9-21 to the under at home this season. Miami is 17-13 to the over as an underdog, and they've gone over in 4 of their last 6 games coming in. But I'm going to take the under in this one with the Heat and the Hornets. I think it's a playoff intensity style game for what's going on. Like I said, the Hornets are just 2 games out of the playoffs, and they are the team that they are trying to chase down here is the Miami Heat. So they're at home. They should win. And I think that's what we're going to see here. More defense for once here in the league. Look, the totals have come down here a little bit here, I think, in the late part of the season, except when the bad teams seem to play each other and then they go off. The last meeting between these two teams was in November. Miami won it by 18. At home is a 7.5-point favorite. It did go under at 234, but it was under 235.5 in that game. Like I said, my Hornets 9-21 at home this season, although 9-11 is a favorite. Like I said, maybe as an underdog that might help the Heat if they're going to go over in this game. But a very important game here. Let's see what the chat all-stars have to say with the matchup between the Heat and the Hornets. I want to say hello to Up One Money in the chat here, ready to go. All right, I think we're going to get the picks here from you guys. I'm trying to track him down here. Andre is on the Hornets on the money line. Timmy Two Shoes talking some soccer action for tomorrow. I did have one of my wins was in soccer today. I had the over. Uh, well, anybody who watched the Premier League game there with Tottenham, can you believe Tottenham? They could. I don't know if they're going to get relegated. They probably deserve to. It would be historic. I think if they did, they might. They might, but they lost to Crystal Palace at home. We had the over in the game, 3-1 final. All right. Let's see here. Mr. Wesker was ready for the Hornets to have a downfall. They're so exciting, it feels like, though. All right. There's up one money. You guys are having good soccer conversation. Maybe we need a soccer show here on this network. Who would host it? Me, probably. And here's Cal Dog on the Hornets. He just doesn't. Mr. Wesker just doesn't like this team. He doesn't like the group of players, I think. All right. And Timmy says better check out the injury report in this one between the Heat and I think he might be referring to this game with the Heat and the Hornets. I thought we were good to go here. There is a significant injury, but it's Normie Powell here out of the game, but he's got a groin pull, and I think he's out until further notice. We don't even have a timetable, I don't think, on Normie Powell. Jovic is questionable. Fontecchio is questionable as well. Grant Williams questionable for Charlotte, and Salon also questionable here for the Charlotte Hornets. I'll take the under here in this one. Hello to Sports Fan in the chat. I love that. I love that from Sports Fan. And Mr. Wester says LaMelo needs a driving class. How about just get off your phone? Yeah, when Money says Normie's been out now. I mean, it's been a couple, 10 days or 2 weeks now for Normie. Yeah, bad timing there. And, maybe, I still think that he can compete in this game. It's just hard to accept the Hornets as a considerable favorite like this. The Heat are still battling for this playoff spot. It just feels like a real close matchup. I know the Hornets have been smashing. Okay, let's go to the big news here on Friday night as the Mavericks will take on the Celtics, and the return here of Jason Tatum. Yeah, whatever minutes. Here's the thing. Look, Boston wants to keep it going. There's really been no, they've operated without him all season, right? So why would you really bring a guy back on? Yes, I understand even at least a little bit of a minutes restriction, but why would you, hold the guy? He's absolutely got to be ready for this game. Now, obviously, it's going to be something for, getting in the flow, getting in the rhythm, participating in a full game, more energy-wise, probably, I would think, than actually, for the Achilles, right? Yes, Achilles is a very delicate injury, but it's also an injury where you're not going to try, hey, let's just try to go out there and see what happens. I got to get out there. Remember when this all, pardon me, you guys, when this all went down, we were thinking, he wouldn't even make it back. Yeah, there was some talk maybe he could come back for the playoffs or whatever, but here he's back before. Technology is incredible. We know what to do in these situations. So, look, he's got to be ready to play here if he's going to play. I just think that, the obvious thing would be to have some type of limitation. Does he interrupt the flow of the Boston Celtics? I don't know. He is the king of this team still, no matter how you look at it, even as great as Brown has been. And this other cast of maybe there is a little bit to getting used to some of the other players on this Celtics team for Tatum in-game action. But look, they're favored by 15. The Mavericks played last night. They lost again. But Cooper Flagg was back in the game, and they covered the spread against a good Orlando team, and they were on the road, and they lost by 1 point as an 8-point dog. Now, could be obviously difficult here for Dallas on the back-to-back right now, especially when they're not winning a thing. They're not even coming close. They're 15-point dogs here, as a matter of fact. So let's hear from you in the chat, though, and see for Boston here, no doubt, have gone just 7-2 against the spread in their last 9 games. They've won 12 of their last 15. Overall, Dallas, 5 straight losses. They've actually gone just 2-9-1 against the spread in the last 6 years against the Boston Celtics. 6 of the last 8 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Dallas has gone under in 4 of their last 5. Boston's gone under in 6 of their last 7 games. And the meeting that they had just about a month ago was 110-100. Boston won it at Dallas, covered 7.5 in and under. Boston's 26-20 as a favorite against the spread. The Mavericks are 12-17 against the spread on the road. Could we see the tankathon in effect here with the Boston Celtics today? I think we will. I think it's going to be a little bit too much. Look, Flag may keep you in it there, but again, he's also is not on the injured list. But the fact that he was playing in the last game, just coming back after an 8-game absence there, has to make you think of whether or not he played 36 minutes. I think it was a team high, actually. So, look, he's young, he's durable. You don't want to screw up this guy at all. But I'm going to take the Boston Celtics to roll the Dallas Mavericks here. I think Dallas can have some trouble scoring, period, in this game. You see some of these Boston games. That total, 222. Is that real? In fact, I'm showing it 222.5, 223, and like these two teams are, especially the Boston Celtics here. When you talk about totals right now, they're 16-30 to the under as a favorite this season, and Dallas is 12-17 to the under on the road. I think this one's a low score, and Boston may crush them. Let's see what you got in the chat. Enough about me. All right. Here we go with the chat pros. Andre, Mavericks on the points. Dallas Celtics on the money line here. Okay. Yeah. Well, one thing that a lot of pro bettors will do, because everybody says, hey, don't play parlays. Oh, you don't want to play a big 1,200 money line. A lot of pro bettors, in order to keep their, I want to say, accounts, you know how it is nowadays, and I'm not just making this up. I mean, this is what you hear professional bettors talk about this. Mixing in parlays is a way to keep your account what they call healthy. So you might take your best play and throw the 1,200 to favorite in there to not only, to put parlays in there because that's what books want to see, but also gives you a little tiny boost there when you win. Maybe takes your minus 110, 105 and puts a little plus money on it. And if that's live, I just saw a hole-in-one. Right now. Graham McDowell just made a hole-in-one right here. This is live, right? 3 holes to play here, or I might be behind, actually. Find a point out. All right. I had it on. It is live to me. I had a little bit on pause out the Live Golf, but just saw a hole-in-one right now that I'm about a half hour behind on the broadcast because I was preparing for the show and I pushed play here. So it's live to me, Graham McDowell, hole-in-one about 45 minutes ago now. Okay, here, let's see. Flag over for sports fan. Mr. Weskers, Celtics first quarter. And Andre says Tatum under there, going to play only 15 minutes. If you're going to do that, Andre, no. I'm not. You might be right, Andre. Come back to me tomorrow. But if you don't do that, I don't think to the player. I think if you're going to play a guy, you're not going to play him 50. You're going to sit him, or not be ready to go. Like I said, I just feel like with Tatum here, you have to be ready. Why would you do that? Why would you bring a guy back and say play? That's almost like saying we're scared you're going to go out there and rip your Achilles again. And this type of injury, I think we all can agree, this is the most for athletes now, Achilles is the new ACL because they fixed the knee injury so quickly there, I think. Okay, here we go. Cal Dog on the over. Flag over, half a 3, though, for Andre. He hits at least one. Brown, 30 points. Tatum's going to get attention and leave Brown open. I think he's saying there, wow. Maybe some Christie action in there. Nemus Queta, the hard-trying man there. And let's see, Reed over 11.5. Okay, thanks a lot, you guys. Let's keep it moving here on Night Moves, and another good matchup here involving, playoff ramifications. Yes, that's right. The Portland Trailblazers still trying hard. Like I said, I think it's been a successful season here for the Portland Trailblazers, even if they don't make the postseason. I think this has been a nice push here by the Blazers, especially late in the season, still alive here. 2.5 games out. It was a big win tonight, should mention here, because I don't think either of these teams are playing, but I think we left it off the wrap up there. But a huge win there for the Golden State Warriors last night. Overtime win over Houston. I was steamed because I had the under. It did go under in regulation, but hey, overtime's part of it. And so that was huge for the Warriors, who were trying to hold off the Clippers and these Trailblazers for the 8th spot. Portland right now is 2.5 behind the Warriors. For the Rockets here, they are in 4th place, 1 game behind Minnesota, and their percentage points ahead of the Nuggets for 4th. So real interesting there. The Nuggets last night, did, I'll say, pound the Lakers pretty good there in the end to get the cover. The Nuggets will be right back in action though tonight against a tough opponent. We'll get there in a moment. So, important one here, maybe more so for the Trailblazers. The Rockets, so like I said, 4th place and 5th place is probably the biggest difference in any playoff seeding, right? When just getting at least that first home series. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But that would be Houston's goal here right now. They could still get down there with Minnesota in the 3rd slot. So Houston here off of a loss last night to Golden State, as I mentioned, 115 to 113. They were 9.5-point favorites in that game. The Warriors were in it, felt like all the way there. Portland, meanwhile, off of a win a couple nights ago against Memphis. They did not cover 9.5 in an 8-point win. They also had losses to Atlanta and Charlotte. This is the 5th straight road game now here for Portland. They're kind of coming back around here, stopping off in Houston for this game. Now, Houston's failed to cover 3 straight games. They've also lost to Miami. They did beat Washington, but they did not get the money in that one. Houston's just 10-18 against the spread at home. We've talked about them not being a great spread team this season, often overrated. Portland is 20-17 against the spread as an underdog. Houston comes in here having won 4 of their last 6, but they are just 6-12 ATS in their last 18 games overall. Portland, meanwhile, is just 3-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 9 games against the Houston Rockets. The teams met back in January, back-to-back games in Portland. Portland won them both as home dogs, and Houston won here back in November, 140 to 116 as a 7.5-point favorite. So the game here in Houston went over, but the games in Portland that Portland won did go under. Portland's gone over in 11 of its last 14, and also under, though, in 12 of their last 16 on the road. So they're going over at home, under on the road. Houston's gone over in 5 of their last 6 games overall coming of this one, but they are just 10-18 to the under at home, and Portland is 16-21 to the under as an underdog. I think we get that playoff kind of a intensity here. I'm not saying Portland's a playoff team, but they've had some struggles on this road trip when they played the good teams. When they played Charlotte, they only scored 93. When they played Atlanta, they only scored 101. I'm going to go under here with Portland and Houston. The chat pros are ready for their picks in this one. Let's see what we got. Timmy says, why couldn't the Rockets torch these guys right now? It could be that Portland has had enough. Avija, he is out of this game. Should mention it. Obviously, is a big deal here. And he's doubtful here. I think doubtful is Avia's status here in this one. Chris Murray, questionable. For Houston here, DFS is questionable in this one. All right, Mr. Weskers, Portland won the last 2 meetings in a 2-day span, he said back there when the teams met in January. And Rockets did lose tonight. Maybe a little rest advantage there for Portland. Rockets and under for Andre. Cal Dogs on the Rockets. Mr. Weskers kind of wants to take Portland money line. He had it before. Jimmy Chushu says this line's been moving to Portland here right now. I'm showing some square books have actually moved to a 5.5 here in this one. Andre's got KD to score over 25 points. What was KD, what could KD and KD talking to Draymond all game long must have been the worst conversation. I mean, I couldn't stand listening to those guys for more than 5 minutes. All right, Durant can't make his free throws with all those elbows all over the place. All right, that's it for that one. All right, we're in the tankathon, it looks like here, but what's going on with the line? Are they giving Booker some rest here? Now, look, New Orleans playing, if any team that's in the tankathon has been giving teams a hard time here of late, it's got to be the New Orleans Pelicans. They actually have played pretty well here. Problem here is they're on the back-to-back. I mean, they're the team that just came in here. Yes, they did beat Sacramento. They got the money in that one easily in a big time over. But now they're taking on the Phoenix Suns. And, I still look at the Suns. I know a lot of people have tried to bury this team a little bit. But, hey, you look at the Western Conference standings here right now. I mean, you got to catch the Phoenix Suns. I mean, I think they're going to make it. They did lose last time out, talking about Phoenix's loss to the Bulls last night in an upset. So it was 105-103. They were at home as an 11-point favorite. So they're on the back-to-back as well. It's just that New Orleans is coming down here from Sacramento. This is the 6th game of the road trip as well for New Orleans. They do have wins over. They beat Utah twice and they beat Sacramento. So they beat bad teams. When they were up against the Lakers, they lost to the Lakers, did not cover. They lost to the Clippers. And I don't know, you look at the standings. I mean, it's Lakers, Suns, Warriors, Clippers. So the Suns have got to be kind of lumped into that group. I think the Suns can pull one off here. Maybe that game, I don't know, last night, that can only go down as a bad loss last night, especially with no Giddey in the lineup there yesterday. But some top performances by Colin Sexton there yesterday. Also, Trey Jones had a strong performance for Chicago. And, for Phoenix, Booker had 27, but they just didn't get a lot of production at all from that starting lineup. I mean, Gillespie really wasn't doing much. Grayson Allen came off and had a big game. Amir Coffey also, but it was a bad performance. Maybe this is what everybody's kind of been talking about, with the Phoenix Suns and their liabilities a little bit here. But I'm going to try the Phoenix Suns in this one to beat New Orleans here. Like I said, New Orleans on this road trip against the good teams, or the teams that are right here in the standings with them. When the Sun, right? They lost to the Lakers, who are 2 games ahead of the Suns. They lost to the Clippers, who are 4.5 back of the Suns. So I think this one says Suns. All right, let's see what you have, though, in this one and get some news and notes here. Phoenix just 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games at home. Phoenix has gone under in 4 of their last 5, but 12 of the last 18 meetings between these two regular semi-frequent foes have gone over. However, Phoenix is 11-21 to the under at home, and New Orleans, while they are a slight over team, they are 15-17 to the under at home. They've gone over in 6 of their last 9. New Orleans has won and covered 5 of their last 7 games overall coming in, and won 5. I'm sorry, they've gone just 1-4 against the spread against the Suns in their last 5 meetings with Phoenix. These two teams played in back-to-back nights back in December, and Phoenix won them both in New Orleans, and they were favored in those games. So they won by 7 as a 5.5 point favorite, won by 9 as a 4.5 point favorite. Also, back in November, Phoenix won and covered at home in a 24-point win. So Phoenix has had the upper hand in this series this year, 3-0, straight up and against the spread. Go to the chat pros here right now to see what they have in this one. All right. And Andre says, probably no Zion here. He came back, obviously. We're in the back-to-back here. Give Zion. You want to make fun of him half the time, but when he's in there, he is, pretty darn solid. Okay, Pelicans, DeJounte Murray, questionable for Phoenix. Mark Williams is out of this game. Mr. Weskers is on the Suns. And Timmy says, what the heck's going on here? This one was 5, and now it's 6, he says. I'm showing even a 6.5 with some juice in there, but a DK. Cal Dog's on the Pelicans here. And Mr. West, Zion's worried. With Mr. West would like to say his family, man. Andre, Sons, Booker, plus 20+ points in there. Maybe Timmy's going to take the points, though. All right. If I was $100 million man, I might have some children. I don't know. Haven't been able to do it so far. Okay, here we go. Thanks to everybody in the chat pros. Got another good one here. New York Knickerbockers on the road taking on the Denver Nuggets, two of the best teams in the NBA. Denver coming in 39-24. Knicks 40-23 here right now. Of course, the Knicks coming in here off of a loss to OKC, that great game the other night, 103-100. Man, these Knicks games are low scoring, man. What's going on with this total? I know the Nuggets are that tempo team and all, but man, you see what the Knicks did to held all these teams to under 100 points here, Milwaukee, San Antonio, and Toronto, and they only limited OKC to 103. The Knicks are really doing a job. They covered that last game. They've covered 4 straight. Denver just beat the Lakers last night, 120-113. They did get the money there in that one after they won at Utah but did not cover. Still, Denver 15-7 against the spread as an underdog this season. Somehow they're an underdog in this game. For the Nuggets, Spencer Jones is questionable. Cameron Johnson is questionable. Peyton Watson is out for the Knicks. Josh Hart's questionable here. Mitch Robb, he's questionable as well. The Knicks are 29-23 as a favorite, but just 13-18 against the spread on the road. So a little bit tricky here, it feels like right now. The Knicks actually a slight favorite on the road. Yes, they've been so hot and strong here, winning 15 of their last 20 coming in. They're 4-1 against the spread in their last 5. They're 6-1 against the spread their last 7 against Denver over the last couple of seasons. They did meet back last month. The Knicks won it at home, 134-127, as a 4.5-point favorite. The Knicks have actually won the last 3 meetings between the two teams. Denver's gone over in 11 of their last 16, but they've gone under in 5 straight at home. These two teams, the Nuggets are an over team. They're 38-24 to the over, but they're just 14-14 over under at home and 10-11 to the over as an underdog. So it's more when they are, road favorite or on the road period that those games go over. At home, they're, apt to play a little bit more defense. We know that they're up there in the offensive production, but we also know that the numbers are high, and they're going against a Knicks team right now that continues to put pressure on these numbers lower. So I think while on the surface, you think of the Nuggets and that tempo, but last night's game was under with the Lakers at 233. It seems like when the Nuggets play poor teams, maybe they get up tempo there a little bit. With in the Utah game was 253 points, but against a good team like Minnesota, it was 225. OKC was a high-scoring game, but let me see how you guys shape this one up. The Knicks have actually gone under in 6 of their last 7, and Denver's gone under in 5 straight at home. I'm going to go under in this one with the Knicks and the Nuggets here. Give me the under. Every other game I'm going under, and every other game I'm going with the home team. I don't even need a handicap here. Okay, let's take a look and see what you guys have in this one. All right. Timmy Chushu's not worried about the Nuggets on a back-to-back. He'll go with Denver. And Mr. Wesker says New York's doing New York things. Is that good? The Cal Dog likes the Knicks. Timmy says, Nuggets are okay on the back-to-back. Andre says it's going to be a playoff-style atmosphere here. Timmy says maybe this one's going to flip right at the last minute and make the Nuggets a favorite. And Mr. Wesker says because of that rest advantage, the Knicks will actually go up there to maybe even a greater favorite. Look, that may be what we're dealing with here, right? Is the back-to-back and why the Knicks are favored. I mean, after all, Denver, that was a look. It wasn't. I'm not saying it was a difficult game there against the Lakers last night. They got off to that big lead in the first quarter, kind of made it stand. But the Lakers did keep the pressure on. Okay. Andre says Cat's going to foul out. And maybe Timmy will wait for a little live action. Okay, that's it for that one. Let's keep it going. We've got another critical game in the Western Conference here with the Clippers on the road and the outside looking in right now. The Spurs here, 3 games behind the Thunder right now, and they've won a couple in a row here. They're trying to get that number 1 seed. For a young team like Portland, it's funny. It's like the older teams who have to pace themselves a little bit end up with crummy seeds. The LeBrons of the world, the KDs of the world, right? They all end up with crummy seeds, and then they end up losing. For a team like San Antonio that doesn't have that postseason pedigree, especially how well they played against Oklahoma City, getting that home court, that might mean something. All right, let's get into it here, though, with the Spurs. Obviously, that was a great game last night for the Spurs. I thought that Pistons 10-1 record as an underdog was going to be able to have them stay in that game. And, pardon me, it wasn't awful, right, as far as the game itself, it was pretty competitive, but the Spurs just pulled away there in the end. The Pistons made that great run in the third quarter after trailing there by 25 at halftime. Pulled it down there. Got back in the not 25, 15 at halftime, right? So 16, what was it? 71 to, I'm looking at it here now, 71 to 55. So 16-point lead. They sliced it in half after the third quarter, and the Pistons made their run, but too much Wemby too often there. And San Antonio ended up getting the win over the Nuggets there last night. Battle of top teams some of the top teams in the NBA. The Spurs here also covered against Philadelphia before that, but the Clippers, 3 straight wins, 4 straight covers, as they've needed to, as they keep the pressure on here right now. Clippers, 18-14 against the spread on the road, 19-12 against the spread as a dog, but the Spurs are great too, 16-11 against the spread at home. They're laying a little bit of a price here, 7 to this Clippers team. It's the Clippers that are rested here, but San Antonio, they were at home last night. See what you got. Clippers trail the Warriors by just 1.5 games here in the standings, currently in 9th place. Let's go to the chat here with this big game. San Antonio's won 13 of its last 14, covering 11 of those games. Clippers have covered 5 straight on the road, and the Clippers have defeated the San Antonio Spurs in 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams. Yes, the Spurs have been rising up over time here. These guys are semi-frequent opponents. They're meeting a few times a year. So that's a sample size, a little over 3 seasons or so there. The two teams met last year in April was the last time that they met. So this is the first meeting. We're going to get a few Clippers-Spurs games here down the stretch. That's not good news for the Clippers, is it? Spurs are 11-17 to the under at home, 18-27 to the under as a favorite. They've gone under in 5 of 6, and the unders come in 10 of the last 15 games between these two teams. Come on. If you know me and the Clippers, you've got to think I'm going to be thinking under. Last year, though, 3 of the 4 meetings last season did go over. Let's go to the chat here on this one. Spurs at home against the Clips. Clips have covered 9 of their last 10 games overall coming into this one. A lot going on here, it feels like. All right. Timmy Two Shoes, he's on the Clippers. Andre's on the Spurs here. Cal Dog says Spurs money line, Clippers with the points, going to thread the needle there. He had the Spurs last night. Mr. Wesker's liking these Clippers. Wemby double and 2 blocks. Sand Fox 15 plus. Mr. Wesker's right. There's no doubt the Clippers are being overlooked. It's been that way, it feels like, this whole time. Remember, these guys are coming on like Zenyatta right now. Yep, Denver, the big game there last night. Was clutch there in the end. Got that big dunk, and you knew the game was over. All right, I think that's going to do it here in this one for the Spurs and the Clippers here. I'm going to take the Clippers in this one. Give me the Clippers to hang in there, cover the spread again right now. They are both teams covering strong here, but I'm going to try the Clippers. They're maybe just a little bit hotter. I don't know how else to put it. All right, and the Lakers will get a chance to make up for that loss last night. They're playing the Indiana Pacers here. They better win this one. We're in the tankathon here with this game. So, yeah, you know what? The Lakers, they might not be too bad in the tankathon. They're 24-14 as a favorite. Try to make fun of, it doesn't feel like over the last few years, the LeBron years, that they've been a very good favorite, right? I mean, every game is a struggle when you're talking about the Lakers, but give them credit this year for the games they have been favored. They've been able to take care of business for the most part, you do have a Pacers team that is 11-19 against the spread on the road, having a real hard time right now. They haven't covered in over I don't know, 3 weeks. Here they've lost and failed in 7 straight games here right now. Lakers have also covered 9 of the last 11 meetings with Indiana, and that's pretty much when Indiana's been a good Indiana. They did not meet yet this season, so it just goes to show you. The Lakers won here last year in February, 124-117. They were actually a dog in that one. So I've got this. Is this the only? Oh no, I guess the Celtics were in the tankathon. The Suns are in the tankathon, and the Lakers are in the tankathon. So I'm going to go with my tankathon teams here, and I'll take the Lakers tonight to roll here over the Pacers. I'll take them by double digits. Here, look, Lakers still get it done somehow as a favorite here. Covered as a favorite against New Orleans, covered as a favorite against Sacramento, covered as a favorite against Golden State. All those teams. Well, Golden State, we've talked about it. They're obviously hanging on there. They're maybe playoff bound, but they're obviously not the old Golden State here right now. So all those games where they were favored against weaker teams, I guess would say those other teams are bad. We know that. Lakers covered. So see what you got here. This one, the Pacers aren't, like I said, they're not coming close. A true tank team. All right. Mr. Wesker's laughing at those Lakers. He says Pacers money line here. He does not believe anything that I'm saying. He is not with the program, at least in this one. We know it's tough to shake the what we're used to. I think a little bit with the Lakers. Here's Cal Dog on the under. Timmy, that's a great. What a good deal there. Good deal for the Lakers, for the Clippers. You're right. All right. Yeah, Andre. There's no doubt, but I'm trying to read off the games that they've been covering here, no doubt. Sports fan feeling the same thing. Lakers just don't cover, but it's the old Lakers that really had a problem. But still 10. You're right, 10 points, double digits. Andre's not quite sure. Okay, that's it for the NBA. We've got some exciting action here in college basketball today. Where do you want to go in college basketball? I've tried to pick the best games here. One from each conference. We'll cover each conference, see where we stand here. I'm going to skip the regular season games, even Miami of Ohio, but we will mention them off. I don't have a pick in the game, but I do want to mention Miami of Ohio will attempt to wrap up the regular season with a 31-0 record tomorrow when they take on Ohio U. They are favored by 5 points on the road. It's a 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific start. I don't have it here in the preview. It seems like I just previewed the whole, I didn't preview, but I just introduced the whole game there. But nonetheless, important tomorrow. They're actually going up against an okay club here in the Ohio Bobcats. So we'll see. Miami of Ohio tries to go 31-0. Ohio is 15-15 this season. All right. Let's see if you guys are probably picking the game in there. Okay. No. Okay, good. There it is. Andre's taking Miami money line, but Ohio to cover. He's got us a very close game. He's going to thread the needle again in there. Andre's specialty is threading that needle. Okay, I'm covering tournament action here today. Tony's got a great video with his college games. He previewed all the regular season games here, so I'm going to cover on Night Moves here, conference tournament action, okay? Make sure you're checking out Tony. He's got the regular season games. I know he's got the Columbia Harvard game previewed in there for sure. I saw. Okay. Here we go. Let's go to first. I'm going to go in chronological order here, I think. Started off with Northeastern and North Carolina A&T. This is action here in the Coastal we're going to give everyone a shot here. We're going to give every conference a look. Now, this one probably we're just getting started here in the Coastal right now, so probably could have ditched this one actually here, but we're just underway. It'll be Northeastern here taking on North Carolina A&T. Closely rated. I think that's kind of why I did what I did with this one. We got a 1-point spread here with A&T in this one. They're playing this tournament in Washington, D.C. So this is the 12-13 matchup. The top 4 seeds have already received byes into the quarterfinals. Everyone else is already in the second round, and except for this game, because everyone gets invited here, and the winner will go on to take on the 5 seed Drexel. But, this was one of the first ones off here at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 Pacific time. And for Northeastern here, they come in just 6-23. North Carolina A&T comes in with a record of 11-18. North Carolina A&T has lost 3 straight games right now, although they did cover one of those against William and Mary. However, Northeastern is 10-19 against the spread this season. Really been failing on a lot of these games here of late. Northeastern, the only thing, like I said, the only game they covered was that game against William and Mary. Other than that, really, it's been a disaster here for the last several weeks for Northeastern. They're just 1-11 against the spread in their last 12 games overall. They've lost 10 straight. A&T has lost 8 of their last 10 games overall as well, but they've been an okay cover this season, 16-11 against the spread. So I probably think that A&T can get this win against Northeastern. These two teams have played some overs this year. In fact, the matchup they had in the regular season was 85-74. A&T won at home as a 3.5-point favorite. They got the money in and over. Like I said, the two teams there combined 33-23 to the over this season. But I will note that NC A&T is 1-4 to the under as a favorite. I guess they're favorite here. Let me peek at it here again, make sure it hasn't moved. 1-point favorite, though. Yeah, 1-point favorite, total right there, 154 or so. I'm going to go ahead and take North Carolina A&T, though, in this one. They're obviously the better cover this season. For Northeastern here, like I said, on this massive losing streak right now, it does feel like they're one of the worst teams in the country here currently. So give me A&T to win this one, first round matchup in the Coastal. Okay, let's see here. And Andre says he might be on Northeastern here. He was on the under, though. So is Cal Dog. So this one's moved lower 1.5 here. Yeah, this one did take some action here to the under for sure. And, Northeastern does have a tendency in these type of, let me see, I think it's in these conference tournament games over the years. Now, I kind of tend to buy into some of the stats we see in conference tournaments because, usually the teams are going to come in here, unless you have an outlier like a Miami of Ohio, you're kind of bringing in the same programs year after year. Yes, there's improvements and downgrades, if you will. However, Northeastern, in their last 10 conference games over the last couple of seasons, they've never gone this high in this total. This is uncharted territory, really, for Northeastern here. Yes, they are playing a team that does give up some points in North Carolina A&T, but like I said, remember, A&T 1-4 to the under as a favorite. So maybe that's the direction I would look to go. I'll take A&T, but there's some thought here that Northeastern, they don't play too many of their tournament games over 150 over the last few years. It's never gone over 150. Talking about the final score. All right. And hey, Shaq is here. Okay, here we go. Timmy says he maybe likes that over there a little bit, though. And Shaq says he needs St. John's to win versus Seton Hall. Oh, does he have a future for the regular season? What is going on there, Shaq? 40. He's watching me at 1.65 speed. How about what if I do this? Hello to Shaq, or maybe I can try this. All right, let's see. Here, having some fun with you guys on Night Moves. Let's keep it going here, though. Conference tournament action here on a Friday. And going to take it now over to, let's go to the Missouri Valley Conference and talk about it. The Arch Madness here has been on a massive run to the unders for the last 3 seasons here right now. Really, constantly these games are going under right now at Arch Madness. You already think about the tempo, the style of play here. It feels like when it comes to the Missouri Valley Conference, right? But whatever it is, when they hit the floor here in St. Louis every year, right now it's just a lack of points. Just no other way to look at it. So let's go to the conference here, see what's going on in the Missouri Valley. All right, Illinois, Chicago here in Murray. These two teams, neither of these teams played. These two teams got buys into the quarterfinals. Really because they're not one of the top 4, one of the top 3 seeds, but do face off against one another here at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. UIC comes in here with a record of 17-14. The 5th seed, Murray, 20-11. We know that Murray has been a team that has been able to work some magic in the years past. This is a closely rated game, but Murray's having a strong year here. I mean, they're 20-11 overall. Come in here. They're not a big cover team as it is right now. They probably use their home court advantage, and they certainly, when they were expected to win, they always pretty much won. Murray comes in here, though, on a massive streak of not covering the spread, and they struggled down the stretch. They lost to Bradley on the road as a 4.5-point dog, did not cover. They did beat Evansville, couldn't cover 15, lost at Illinois State, lost at home to Belmont, but we know Belmont's been number 1 here. They beat Indiana State on the road, but could not cover. But here, they just have to beat an Illinois Chicago team that lost to Indiana State in the season finale. They beat Bradley, lost to Valpo. But again, this team, 17-14 overall, talking about Illinois, Chicago, 15-14 against the spread. I think Murray is the better team. I think they, have they're a team that has been able to come through before. They already beat this team 81-74 at home to cover 6.5. They won at UIC, didn't cover. They were favored by 5.5, but they still won the game, and they pretty much held over these guys a little bit. UIC is just 2-6 against the spread in their last 8 games against Murray. Murray has lost 8 of 12. I get all that. I'm taking Murray State, though, here in this one to bounce back and beat Illinois Chicago here. I'll take the Racers. Let's go to the chat all-stars here in this one. Mr. Weskers is on Murray. And Andre is going to take Illinois Chicago. Shaq's back there at that. He's back there at the Seton Hall game still. Or let's see. He's worried about his St. John's Seton Hall game in there. I will say about that game, for two teams that kind of have the unders a little bit, man, St. John's, I don't know, they might put up some points. We'll see here. Andre, maybe under in this one. Cal Dog likes Illinois Chicago. We like to call him UIC, but he's putting them in the ICU. Maybe they're on life support, Cal Dog. And Illinois Chicago's been nailing the spread. So, yeah, when they win, they cover. When they win, they cover. When they lose, they don't. That's kind of how it's been with Illinois Chicago this season. And again, that's because they have a lot of closely rated games. Can they beat Murray here, a team that they lost to twice this year already? Give me the Racers. Okay, let's continue on here with our tournament coverage. Next, we're going to go to the Atlantic Sun. And I'm going to take a look at this one between Gulf Coast and Lipscomb. All right, we're here in the Atlantic Coast Conference. Now we're in Jacksonville here. We played the first round 2 nights ago, and now we're here on Friday for this next group of games. This is the meeting between the 4 and the 5 seed. Gulf Coast had to win to get in here as the 5 seed. They beat North Alabama 69 to 58 to advance here. Let's see, Bellarmine was won in advance. They'll play Central Arkansas in the early game here. That game's already seen some big-time movement to the over. Also, Stetson was an upset winner over Eastern Kentucky. They advanced to play Austin P. West Georgia did knock off North Florida. They'll play Queens. Queens, a pretty good team here. They're the 3 seed. P is the 2 seed. Let's go in this one, though. I'm looking at Gulf Coast and Lipscomb, basically the closest game of the 4, with Lipscomb favored here by 4.5. This one is at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific time. I believe, or I'm sorry, 2:30 Eastern, 11:30 Pacific time. Gulf Coast comes in 15 and 17. Lipscomb is 19 and 12 coming in. Lipscomb comes in with a win over Eastern Kentucky last time out and close out the season 80 to 77 on the road. They got the cover there. Lipscomb, mediocre cover here this season. They did go 19 and 12. They were helped by a 13 and 1 home record here. Florida Gulf Coast is one of the worst spread teams in the country. They're 8 and 22 ATS this season, and they've gone just 4 and 7 against the spread as an underdog. Lipscomb is 8 and 10 against the spread as a favorite, but Florida Gulf Coast, that's definitely 8 and 22 ATS. That's not great. So see what you got, though, here in this one. Gulf Coast and Lipscomb. These are likes being played here in Jacksonville. Lipscomb has won 12 of their last 18, but gone just 3 and 7 against the spread in their last 10. Florida Gulf Coast has won 5 of 7, but just 2 and 7 against the spread in their last 9. They had losses leading up to the end of the season here before they before the win there 2 nights ago against North Alabama. They did cover that one, by the way, but they lost to Stetson. They lost to North Florida. They did win and cover against Central Arkansas at home. They failed in a win against Jacksonville, but again, poor spread numbers overall for Gulf Coast. See what you guys have here in this one with Lipscomb and Gulf Coast. Florida Gulf Coast has gone under in 4 of their last 5. Lipscomb's gone under in 4 of their last 6. 4 of the last 5 meetings, though, between the two teams have gone over. Lipscomb, like I said, they've owned this series. Gulf Coast 0-5 straight up and against the spread in the last 5 meetings, including the ones this year. They were both played in January within a 2-week span. Lipscomb won at home 86 to 71, got the money. Lipscomb won on the road 84 to 77. They were actually a 2.5 point dog in that one. I've got Lipscomb to handle this one. I'm going to take Lipscomb to knock out Gulf Coast here in the ASUN quarters. Let's go to the chat and see if anybody likes this one with me. Here's Andre. He likes Gulf Coast. And Cal Dog likes Lipscomb here. Jimmy likes the revenge angle here for all those losses that they've been taking. He says everyone's all over Lipscomb. Says they opened 3.5 here. Now it's up to 4.5 right now. All right, maybe is it higher? Four and a half and 150, pretty much. Okay, I'm taking Lipscomb. Let's keep it going here right now. Next up, we're going to go to action here. Okay, oh boy, let me switch papers here. Let's go on over to the Southern Conference here with the Citadel taking on Chattanooga. This is first round action in the Southern Conference. So let's see how this plays out between these two. Chattanooga, 7.5-point favorite. This one is at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific here. Citadel, 10 and 21 coming into this one. Meanwhile, for Chattanooga, they are 13 and 19. We've seen better Chattanooga seasons out there, I guess, here, but Citadel struggled down the stretch as they usually do. All right, here we go. I'm going to also take a look at the format here right now and see where we stand with the Southern Southern Conference tournament here. Citadel struggled down the stretch, though. They did beat Wofford to close out the season on the road in an upset, 93-90, as an 11.5-point dog. But before that, consecutive losses were really hampering them. Losses to Mercer, Samford, Chattanooga, and Furman. This is the 8-9 game, so the winner will get number 1, East Tennessee State. The other game here in the Southern tonight is VMI in Greensboro. The winner takes on Wofford. Chattanooga has been a pretty bad cover this year, especially as a home favorite, but playing this one in Cashville. Chattanooga is, though, 5 and 10 against the spread as a favorite. Citadel, 12 and 14 against the spread as an underdog here. So it might be a little much here maybe for this one. It's just that Citadel, it's just so hard to back these guys right now, the way they kind of finished. At least Chattanooga won 3 of their last 4 to close out the season with wins over Mercer, Citadel, and BMI. These two teams met back in February, and it was 93-72. Chattanooga got the win at home, on the road in revenge. They were a 5.5-point favorite. Earlier in this February, they lost to Citadel 78-71 as a 9.5-point home favorite. So let's see what happens here in round 3 between the Citadel and Chattanooga. Citadel has lost 14 of the last 18 meetings between these two teams. Citadel just 1-5 straight up, 2-4 against the spread in their last 6 games coming into this one. Chattanooga's lost 8 of 12 coming in. They've gone just 2-5 against the spread in their last 7 games overall. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Chattanooga's gone over in 5 straight games. Both regular season meetings did go over here, but Citadel is a bit of an under this year. Let's see what you got. I kind of want to take the under here in this one. I don't know if I have the stats to prove it, but at 146, I think I might be on the under here between Citadel and Chattanooga today. Let me hear what you have to say. Here we are in a neutral site conference venue. This always happens to Chattanooga. The games never get into this kind of range up in the upper 140s here. But maybe against this opponent it could. Let's see what we got. And Mr. Wesker's wondering about SEMO in there. Maybe we can cover it here real quick. Maybe we'll get to SEMO there in the Ohio Valley. We definitely have that. I'm not previewing that. I'm previewing the other one, but we're covering that conference. Okay, here's Citadel plus the points for Andre. And Chattanooga for the sweep, says Cal Dog. Timmy Chushu says the public's on the over here, it looks like. And okay, I think that's it for you guys. I'm going to take the under here in this one with Citadel and Chattanooga. Like I said, I don't think I can back it with the trends here in this one. I think I'm just kind of playing the market here a little bit. You mentioned the not much of a move, but let me see here. Yeah, 145.5. Starting to see it move up. It seems like it's going higher here, so I guess I could wait, but I'll take the under in this one. All right, that's what happens every time, Timmy. Right? You take the 7-point favorite; they're down 10 in a tournament early. Mr. Wesker's here liking Citadel plus these points. All right, here we go. We got to go to next up. Let's go to the Sun Belt ladder. Here, let's see where we stand in the old Sun Belt ladder here with Southern Miss taking on Texas State. Texas, it's nearly a pick'em here in this one with the Texas State 19-12. Southern Miss comes in here 16-15 right now. We did see in yesterday's games here, Southern Miss got the win, right? Only Georgia Southern here on the other side of the bracket was a team that finally was able to win a second game here so far in the ladder. After they beat Old Dominion, they were able to beat Arkansas State last night in a 10-7 game nonetheless, but still they advanced. They'll take on South Alabama. This, meanwhile, is an 8-5 game here with Southern Miss getting the win over James Madison. So the higher-seeded team has won in that side of the bracket every time here. Texas State would be that team here, although the spread says 1 right now, and I want to take a look at this because I think Texas has taken a little bit of action here. Let me see. This one is at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Pacific. Texas State is up to 1.5. They actually opened maybe even a slight underdog. So the move has been to Texas State here right now. They are favored, but let's take a look here. The total is at 140. It's gone down here right now within the last couple of minutes, actually, here on Night Moves. Okay. For Southern Miss to come in here with a record of 16-15, Texas State is 19-12. Both teams were playing pretty well down the stretch. For Texas State here, they're coming in here just a 14-14 spread record. USM 14-15 against the spread. Pretty nondescript, actually. Texas Tech had a tremendous home season, but here we're playing in Pensacola. With this one, these two teams met twice in the regular season. They met within within 1 week back in January, and both teams won their games at home. Texas State won by 7 as a 2-point favorite. Southern Miss won at home by 10 as a 2.5-point favorite. So the home team won, both of them here comfortably, and covered the spread. See what you got here with these two. USM did go 10-8 to the over as an underdog. Texas State was a bit of an under here down the stretch. See what you folks have here in this one. Closely rated game. Like I said, the other game, Georgia State and South Alabama. South Alabama is a 4.5-point favorite. The total is 149 in that one. For Southern Miss here, they've won 4 of their last 5. They've actually covered 5 straight games. The only one they lost was at Arkansas State. They lost by 5 as a 9-point dog to get the money. Southern Miss has gone 6-3 against the spread the last 9 meetings against Texas State. Texas State, though, comes in having won 8 of their last 9, going 7-2 against the spread. The only game they lost was 2 games ago against the Ragin' Cajuns, 84-67. They got beat up on the road in that one. They also failed to cover a home game against Sad Sac Monroe, beating them by 11 there, and they were a 14.5-point favorite in that one. Let's go to the chat here. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Texas State's gone under in 5 of their last 7, but Southern Miss has gone over in 4 of their last 6. Here we go. It's going to be Cal Dog is on Texas State. Maybe Mr. Weskers is too. And Timmy Tusha says, though, Southern Miss is on fire right now. He likes him. He'll take the 1.5. Yeah, they are covering like nobody's business. But like I said, they've gone 5-0 in 5 straight covers. But Texas State, 7-2. ATS has done a good job too. I'm going to take Texas State actually here in this one. Give me Texas State against Southern Miss. Now, we talked about Arch Madness. Let's go to the Summit League, where it's usually the opposite. It wasn't in the openers yesterday at the Sanford Pentagon, but things might change today. I have a feeling. Nebraska Omaha is taking on South Dakota here at the Sanford Pentagon in the Summit League, and the Summit League all season long was kind of the highest scoring league. I think you can compare it to the SEC in terms of scoring anyway. For Nebraska Omaha here, they do come in as the favorite by 3 over South Dakota. Omaha 15-16 on the season. South Dakota 16-15. South Dakota won their last 2 games coming in, but Omaha lost their last 2 games coming in. South Dakota actually beat South Dakota State, and Omaha wins and covers there to end the season. For Omaha, they had losses to St. Thomas and to South Dakota, obviously. So in that game, just about 2 weeks ago, a little less than 2 weeks ago, South Dakota won it by the score of 89-72 at home. They were a 1.5-point favorite. South Dakota also won the game at Omaha as a 6.5-point dog, 68-64. These are quarterfinal games. They played the other 2 quarterfinal games last night. The winner of this game will meet top-seeded South Dakota. They were 76-65 winners over Oral Roberts. The winner of the other game tonight, Denver and North Dakota. And I will mention this. Let me mention this here real quick on the other game, Denver and North Dakota in the Summit. Just wanted to point this out here. Let me go to the lines here real quick. Look at this. Okay. The other game at 9:30 Eastern, 6:30 Pacific. One book opened it as high as 165.5 of the Denver game. I mean, Denver is a massive over team this season. They are playing North Dakota, which hasn't been a tremendous over team, but that one could be an over. This one could be an over as well, I think, here with Nebraska, Omaha, and South Dakota. Although South Dakota's kind of been an under for sure, and Nebo is 2-5 to the under as a favorite. That's Nebraska, Omaha. Let's hear from you in the chat, though, here in this one at the Summit at the Sanford Pentagon in Sioux Falls. Get the picks from you right now. Omaha comes in here 5-10 straight up and against the spread. Their last 15 games against South Dakota. South Dakota's covered 10 of their last 15. Omaha's covered 10 of their last 14 coming in. South Dakota maybe's been a little bit better cover, but a lot of that's been at home. Omaha was not a terrific cover away from home, but maybe South Dakota was a little bit better of a cover overall this season. Like I said, they do come in playing a little bit better here, it feels like, than Omaha right now, but I'm just going to go over in this Summit League here. Like I said, it went under yesterday, so it's not necessarily going to be automatic here tonight. But I think with the matchups that we have with Nebraska, with first of all with Denver, um, now look, North Dakota never goes to 160, so maybe there's part of that in there as well. Uh, North Dakota, at least away from home, they never go. And a lot of tournament games, they've never gotten this high in their previous tournament action here. But you're also playing Denver Pioneers, and that's just a little bit different situation here. That was Denver's MO here this year a little bit. So, all right. As far as Omaha though is concerned, when these two teams have met, they rarely get in or rarely don't score into 150. It seems like these guys are always going into the 150s when Nebraska, Omaha, and South Dakota play. The last meeting was 161. The other meeting this year was 132, so that was an under. But last year, 176, 178. 176, by the way, was the tournament game. Omaha won the tournament game between the two teams last season. Was played right here in this same arena. Omaha won it 100-75, and the regular season meetings last year also went over. They played to 178 and 178. Both of them were 178 in the regular season and 175 in the regular season. So 4 of the last 5 crushed this number. In fact, 8 of the last 9 meetings between these two teams have crushed this 151 number. Give me the over here between Nebo and South Dakota. Let's go to the chat. See if anybody likes this one. Cow Dogs on South Dakota on the money line. Mr. Wesker just does not like anything in Nebraska. What about the great famous race course Aksar Ben? Remember Aksar Ben was a race course? You know what Aksar Ben stood for? That's Nebraska spelled backwards. Okay. No picks, just a lot of jokes about this game. Everyone's playing the over, says Timmy. I'm square. Yeah, I mean, I guess so in this conference. And I think that's it for you guys in the summit. Next up, all right, let's go to, we had Mr. Westers want to hear about SEMO and Moorhead, so at least I'll talk about that game. I picked this one to preview between Tennessee Martin and Tennessee State. This one's at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific here. And this one, Martin comes in. We're in the semifinals in the Ohio Valley, so looking good here. Martin comes in, 4th seeded, 21-10. Tennessee State is the number 1 seed. They are 21-9. They're riding a 4-game winning streak. Is Tennessee State, and they've swept the board there. They just played Martin in the season finale, won on the road, 67-42. They Tennessee State got the win at UT Martin. Now, UT Martin did have to play a game to get in here. I mean, to advance here. They beat Eastern Illinois last night, 67-63. They did not cover. They did not cover in that game, but they were able to advance here, so that's a good thing. It was 66-63. So Tennessee State got the automatic bye here into the semifinals. Eastern Illinois was the team that Tennessee Martin had the bye before, so the team who was rested yesterday did get the win. Now, in the other side of the bracket, same thing happened. Southeast Missouri State beat Lindenwood 68-66. They advanced to play Southeast Missouri State. All right, let's look at real quick here at this one with Tennessee State. They've been a pretty solid cover here this season, 16-11 against the spread. Overall coming in. Not only did UT Martin win the first meeting, between the two. Or sorry, not only did Tennessee State win the first meeting between the two teams, Tennessee State also won at home 78-71, covering 2.5. So Tennessee State's actually won the last 4 meetings between these two teams overall, and I believe they've covered the spread in the last 3 between the clubs. Martin comes in here just 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. The only cover was against Tennessee Tech. They failed to cover last night's game as well. Martin's lost 4 of the last 5 to Tennessee State. Tennessee State has gone 7-1 straight up and 4-1 against the spread in their last 8 games overall. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone over, but these are pretty strong under teams this season. Martin's 8-20 to the under this year. Tennessee State 12-15, going under in 6 of their last 8. So this is a series that does go over, but the last game between the two, that blowout win by Tennessee State at UTM, was a hardcore under, just 109 points, going well under 143. Tennessee Martin is a team that went under at home far more frequently than they did on the road. In fact, they were 13-0, I believe, at home, or 13. All 13 home games, I believe, went under for UT Martin. But this is in Evansville, Indiana. For Tennessee State, they went here under in the last 3 games overall against Martin, SEMO, and SIU. All right, against Edwardsville. Okay, so a little bit tricky here, I think, because this season series is definitely an over. But let's go with the chat here and see what's going on. Anything on this one? All right, Tennessee Martin for Andre here. Mr. Westwood says we got a good one here between these two. All right, and Timmy Chushu says, Martin, Martin definitely just not covering very many games here of late. Cal Dogs on Tennessee State. I'm going to go under in this one. I'm going to kind of I know that maybe for Tennessee Martin, like I said, they were really strong at home with those unders, and Tennessee State maybe was more under on the road a little bit, but it's Martin that's a big time under. I mean, 8-20 overall to the under, and they've been going under here in 8 of their last 10. So I'll go under. All right. Next up here, we're going to go to the MAAC with Fairfield and St. Peter's here. We're into the quarterfinals here of the MAAC right now, although just 2 games tonight. Sacred Heart and Merrimack will play in the first game there. Merrimack favored by 6.5, and the total 146 in that one. Let's take a look here at what's going on in the MAAC brackets here as we play the first of the semifinals. They'll play the continuation of the semifinals tomorrow. So just night games here in Atlantic City. Sacred Heart and Merrimack, that first game. Sacred Heart actually beat Iona by 11 to move up. Fairfield won over Manhattan 71-60. They are the 7 seed here, so not an upset. St. Peter's, though, just a 1.5 point favorite here, despite the fact that they're the number 2 seed here, and Fairfield the number 7 seed. But I think that says something about, I don't want to say parity in the MAAC, but man, that is a thin line for a team, for a number 2 seed here. Talking about the St. Peter's Peacocks. St. Peter's comes in 17-11, Fairfield 19-12. Fair enough. Fairfield. They come in here pretty warm, beat Manhattan there yesterday. Like I said, they got the money in that one. They were favored by 5.5. They did throw in a clunker to end the regular season against Mount St. Mary's. But before that, they beat Siena and covered. They beat Quinnipiac as an underdog. They beat Sacred Heart as an underdog. Fairfield 13-7 against the spread overall this season. St. Peter's, though, 17-10 against the spread this season. They were terrific at home. Both these teams are kind of under teams. St. Peter's 10-17 to the under this season. Fairfield's gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. These two teams, though, met twice, of course, and St. Peter's was able to get the win in both games. They won and covered at home back a few weeks ago, 83-74, and St. Peter's won in December at Fairfield, 70-66, as a 2.5-point dog for the 4th straight win for the Peacocks over the Stags. Fairfield comes in here having failed in 5 straight games overall against St. Peter's. Fairfield Hill has won and covered 4 of their last 5. The only loss was that Mount St. Mary's game. St. Peter's has won 13 of their last 19, coming in straight up, and covered in 13 of their last 19 as well. So 14 of the last 20 meetings between these two teams have gone under, and like I said, it feels like these guys are kind of under teams here. I'm going to go with the under in this one with Fairfield and St. Peter's. I think I like the side here for a premium, but give me the under here in this one. I'll try the under. See if there's any picks here with this one. Fairfield. I think Fairfield there for Andre is going to take that 1.5. Andre wants to know who shoots better from the free throw line. Man, this is an interactive show. All right. Well, I guess I got to do it. We can't do this for every game, can we? Or am I supposed to know by heart here? I mean, here's the thing. I mean, you've got two teams that are absolutely dreadful. You know, St. Peter's is one of the worst shooting teams in the country. I mean, they're in the bottom. I think they're bottom 5%. I think in shooting here. So they can't shoot. Who is the better free throw shooting team? Okay, I gotcha. St. Peter's is a better free throw shooting team according to my statistics. But I show St. Peter's 344th in 2-point field goal percentage. I thought there was how many teams are there? I think we're including some other teams in there. We know there's a team for every day. Just remember, there's 365 teams. St. Peter's is 346 in 2-point field goal percentage, 310th in 3-point field goal percentage. At least Fairfield, they're 319th in 2-point field goal percentage and 252nd in 3-point. Oh, they really knock it down. You know, maybe against one another they will find it. I'll try the under. Pressure's on. All right. Hey, hopefully that's why you're joining me here on Night Moves. We have a little fun. Here's Fairfield for Cal Dog. Mr. Weskers is on St. Peter's. Jimmy Two Shoes might be on St. Peter's. Cal Dog says maybe Fairfield in there. 71-74. I'm not making fun of Cal Dog here, but there was a controversy this week on Twitter a little bit. You know, as we've moved away from some of the traditions of, you know, the way sports and sports media has been covered, it's often acceptable nowadays to call a score a lot of times because of I don't know, soccer's emergence, if you will. I don't know. We've been trying to make soccer popular for 50 years, but some people, especially in other culture or other countries, maybe have always just listed the road team first and the home team second. And, you know, U.S. sports media tradition has just always been listing the winner first and that score. So it's kind of interesting. And there was a big discussion of what an AP did step in. Some AP, they got that little AP accounts and the AP style, and I'm an AP style guy. Is the AP style is going to remain that the winning team's score will always be said first. All right, I think Andrew's on the Stags here. And Timmy Two Shoes wants a green egg. Oh, I thought that said green eggs and ham. Greenhorn. Right, Mr. Weskers? Remember, soccer is going to be the next great thing in this country. And we've been waiting for soccer for, soccer's never going to come on. And everybody, okay, here we go. Let's keep it moving here. I got a few more here. Might have to skip one here, actually. Oh, because I didn't. All right, let me put it up here. We got the line. The line wasn't out when I typed these in, but I'm going to go to Portland and Washington State next. Washington State favored by 4.5, 142. I don't know if the University of San Diego line probably is up by now, but that game was just getting over with as we were kind of firing up the show a little bit. Okay, but I got to take a look at the West Coast Conference, and I picked this one first because I figured if the San Diego game didn't have a line yet, but it does. Seattle is favored by 7.5, 140.5 against USD. I just mentioned that because that one was an upset there tonight. San Diego and Steve Lavin has been fired. He's just coaching out the string. I think it was a mutual agreement, but Lavin never got it going at the University of San Diego. They'll get a new coach, but hey, they won one more for him there. And this one here, 4.5, 152.5 between Washington State and Portland here in the West Coast Conference. Washington State will be moving to the Pac-12 or back into the Pac-12, I guess, there next season. Okay, for WSU here, they're 12-19 coming in. Portland is 13-8. As we go into the West Coast Conference here on Friday night here in Las Vegas at the Orleans, just up the street here from me. This is another step ladder bracket here. So Portland comes in off of a win over Pepperdine. They were expected to win. They also won their season finale over USD. Washington State here is the 8th seed. The winner of this game takes on number 5 San Francisco. For San Diego, they're the number 11 seed. They will face Seattle. But in this one, Washington State has lost 3 straight games to St. Mary's, Loyola, and Pepperdine here. Portland just 13-16 against the spread this season and 8-13 against the spread as an underdog. Washington State, meanwhile, 9-7 against the spread as a favorite, but they did lose their last 3 games of the season. These two teams did meet twice this year. Washington State did win them both. 104-74. Washington State won at home, covered 8.5, and they won by 5 on the road, covering 4.5 there in that one. So I do have here Washington State, favored here to win this one by 4.5, total 152. Washington State does trend over a little bit here. Portland might be more of an under team. They are 8-13 to the under as a dog, but Portland's 10-6 to the over as a favorite. The big blowout by Washington State wasn't over, of course, and the game at Portland did go under. So see what you got here, though, in this one with Portland taking on Washington State here. This is here at the Orleans in Las Vegas. Okay, here we go. I think Mr. Weskers likes Portland State, he says there. He's not taking this Portland. He likes the other Portland. Here's Andre taking Washington and the over here. Cal Dog does like Portland in this one to get that cover. I mean, after you get blown out by 20, you know you're going to be at least fired up for the next one, I would think, right? All right. I'm going to take Washington State here, though. I'm going to take the Cougars in this one. All right, one more here. And let's see here. No, I think that is that it? Did I miss one in there? Oh, man, I'm sorry. Let me see. This is supposed to be one of the first games we did because I didn't do the Big South Conference. We got to do the Big South, guys. We've done every conference with the Big South. How come nobody said anything? All right, Long Island and Cashville here in Johnson, Tennessee. This is a near pick'em as well. And we'll take a look. These are the Big South quarterfinals here right now. And we'll take a look here at the situation in the Big South. Yesterday, Gardner-Webb beat USC Upstate 65-64. They advanced to play number one High Point. This is the 4-5 game. The other matchups are Winthrop and Charleston Southern, Radford and Presby. This one's at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 Pacific with Long Island here taking on Cashville. Longwood. Guys, Long Island. What? That's the NEC. No wonder I had it messed up. Longwood. All right. For Longwood here, they come in 16-15. Cashville comes in 14-16. Longwood won back-to-back games to finish the regular season over Charleston Southern and Radford. Longwood just 13-15 against the spread this season. For Cashville, they are 12-14 against the spread this season, but they haven't covered here in a while. They actually had some big-time problems covering spreads down the stretch. They finished 12-14 ATS overall, but I believe failed to cover in each of their last, I want to say, 5 games here to close out the campaign. So a little bit of problems. For NC Asheville. Asheville 0-5 in their last 5 games overall against the spread. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Longwood won. Let's see here. I'm sorry. Asheville won 79-74 on the road as a 2.5-point dog, and Asheville won at home 72-61 as a 2.5-point favorite. Last year, the two teams split, winning on their own home courts. Asheville won 87-82, and Longwood won 85-78 as a 4.5-point favorite. Longwood's just 3-6 straight up and against the spread in their last 9 games against Asheville. Longwood's covered 5 of their last 7 coming in. Longwood's gone over in 6 of their last 7 games coming in. Longwood's 15-13 to the over this season. Asheville just 14-13 to the over this season. So not much there in the terms of trends, but for me, I think when you get sometimes NC Asheville in this kind of a tournament setting, this is more just watching. It feels like the Asheville games in general. I'd probably tend to tendency to go under in a situation like this. So see what you have here. This is the last college game we're doing. Then we're going to bust out here with some NHL. All right, here we go. See what you got here. Yeah, when Asheville gets into the conference tournament, it usually is more like in the 130s. Now, this is the low number in the tournament. In today's settings. The other games here in the Big South are Gardner-Webb and High Point. As we mentioned, I think we mentioned them all. Okay, here we go. Okay, Longwood for Cal Dog, Longwood for Andre, and Longwood for Cal Dog, and the under. It's going to do it. I'm going to take the under here in this one with Longwood and Asheville. Give me the under in this one. It's going to do it there for college basketball. Wow. Great day of tournament action starting early. So head on over to Tony'sPicks.com. I better fire away in college basketball tomorrow. Trying to take the tennis route was not the way to go on a big college basketball day, huh? All right. That's going to do it for that one there. Let's move to hockey here. Thanks for joining me. Been here 2 hours tonight. We're not going to spend too much time here, but it is a 7-game card, and I think I've actually kicked a couple of them to the rail, so we might only be doing 5 or 6 of them. But we're going to start off with the Panthers because they're playing the Red Wings. Giving up on the Panthers there. I had a pretty big futures play on them to win the Stanley Cup this year. What was I thinking? And that's probably why I tried to hang on to them a little too long on the previews. Florida's 30-29-3 this season, but they just can't get movement at all when it comes to the Atlantic Division. The Atlantic Division has just been too good this season. They're sitting in last year currently, and now they've lost 4 in a row. So they're pretty much toast. They lost last night to Columbus, 4-2. We know how hot Columbus has been. Detroit, meanwhile, does come in off of a loss here to the Golden Knights, but Detroit's a good, solid profitable team, up 7.5 units here so far this season. Detroit's nearly down, or Florida's nearly down the 6 units here of this season. Detroit 18-10 at home. Florida is 11-6 as an underdog. Again, they lost last night, but they do have a profitable record as an underdog. It's just that right now, maybe they're done. Maybe they're starting to see the writing on the wall here a little bit. So you do have Gibson. I guess, is he back? Is he really going to be in there? I guess hopefully he is. I mean, they just played a couple nights ago, and Gibson's been kind of banged up here, but see what happens here tonight. Florida is 36-26 to the over. They're also 19-10 to the over on the road, 10-7 to the over as an underdog. The first meeting of the season was won by Detroit 3-1 at home between these two. So, look, still a pretty big price here, and Florida's pretty bad. So it might be over here. It could be Tarasov in there for Florida. Let's see what was going on there last night. Didn't have total focus on that on this matchup there last night, but let's see. No, Tarasov was in there last night, so it's going to be Bobrovsky here, I'm sure, in this one. Tarasov was in there last night for the Panthers here. So, okay, see what you got here in this one between Florida and Detroit here in Detroit. Detroit's lost 6 of their last 9 overall. They've lost 4 of their last 5 at home, but Florida's lost 5 straight on the road. Florida used to own these guys. I guess they still do. They've won 13 of the last 17 meetings between them and the Detroit Red Wings here, but Florida did win a meeting last year at home. And Florida, in fact, beat them twice at home in the last 3 times they've faced off in Florida. But Detroit's won the last 2 meetings in Detroit. So Florida comes in having lost 5 straight on the road, 5 of their last 6 overall. Florida's gone over in 9 of their last 13. Detroit's gone under in 5 of their last 7, but 7 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone under when these two teams have squared off. How about that? And the total here at 6. Give me the under here in this one with Florida and Detroit. I'll go under in this one. Anything from the chat? Let me know if you're interested in the hockey tonight. We're going to go quickly here. And Red Wings for Andre. And Andrew K's here, worried about that 9.5 for the United States tomorrow. And Cal Dog is on the Red Wings. Timmy's got Larkin for a goal. Let's move on here. Next up, great game. Avalanche and Stars here in this one. You got the Avalanche, a road favorite, but Dallas is hot right now. just as hot, if not hotter, than than Colorado here. Dallas on a massive winning streak right now. They've won 6 straight at home as well. Haven't lost in nearly a month, it seems like. Colorado has won 4 of their last 5 on the road, 5 of their last 6 overall. The only loss they've had is to Minnesota at home here recently. But, Colorado's actually struggled against Dallas. They've lost 7 of the last 9 meetings between the two teams. It's gone over in 4 of the last 5 meetings overall. But, Colorado 12-17 to the under on the road. Dallas 12-16 to the under at home. I would think it's going to be a close, tight-knit best game here. Nonetheless, Dallas won at Colorado. Dallas actually won 2 of the last 2 meetings between the two teams. Man, these are usually low score, but that was a 5-4 game at Colorado. 10 of the last 11 meetings between the two teams in Dallas, where you usually think about Dallas, strong at home with unders, right? Good goaltending and everything. But 10 of the last 11 here in Dallas have gone over. So it's usually Dallas and over right now when this game goes off in Dallas. Can you do it? Man, Dallas is hot right now with this winning streak too. Are they overlooking Dallas right here? Kind of in the futures market because of Colorado. Is there any chance that Dallas is actually better than Colorado right now? In the standings, we know that Colorado is probably about 3.5, maybe 7-2 to win the Stanley Cup. Dallas is 14-1. To win the Stanley Cup. I'm not telling you what to do, but come on. Do you really think Edmonton is better than Dallas right now? Edmonton's 11-1. Golden Knights are 8-1. Maybe the Golden Knights can still get it together and look, they're still fine, but I don't think anybody's better than, other than Colorado, is better than Dallas right now, are they? I'm going to take Dallas here in this one. Take Dallas to win over Colorado here. I know the Sharps are probably going to want to take Colorado. They're never going to want to get off of Colorado here, but I'm going to take Dallas to keep it going, and maybe it will be another over. Man, 10 of the last 11. These are, division opponents, man. They're meeting 4 times, so it goes over every time when they play here in Dallas. Here we go. Let's see what the chat has to say. Hello to Richie Rich today. All right. Dallas at home, says Cal Dog. And Timmy says Robertson to score. Over's in play here. Richie's maybe going over with this one. Could it go overtime? Getting stars at a little plus money here. I'm taking the stars. I think I got him at even. All right, and we're next. We're skipping the breaking news. We're skipping the Canucks and the Blackhawks. But look at this one. You want some goals? You want some goals? Canadians and Ducks here on Friday night in Anaheim. The start time, 9 Eastern and 6 Pacific here with the Ducks. What can you say? I mean, the Ducks are still hot, man. No doubt about it. Ducks come in here having won 6 of their last 7, 9 of their last 10 at home. They're only the slightest of favorites over this Montreal Canadiens team. Sure, it's been a real great year here for Montreal, 33-19 and 9. Anaheim, though, 34-24-3 here. Looks like Dostal and Montembeault. Anaheim, 21-19 at home. Montreal, 16-7 on the road. 19-14 as an underdog. Anaheim, 13-17 as a favorite. Montreal's lost 8 of the last 9 trips here into Anaheim, and it's not like I guess both teams were not as good as they are now, right? So how does that carry over a little bit? If Montreal couldn't beat Anaheim when they weren't quite as good and the Ducks weren't quite as good, does that change now because both teams are good this year? I don't know. I think I'd prefer to take Anaheim to keep it going here right now with this hot streak. But maybe you'll look at the goals. Maybe you'll just go over. These two teams are combined 74 and 47 to the over, and the Ducks are 15 and 5 to the over as a favorite. Canadians are 22 and 11 to the over as a dog, especially on the road as a dog. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under. Montreal's gone over in 4 of 5 and 5 of their last 7. I'm going to take the Ducks here in this one. See what the chat says here. Ducks, and is this going to be 4-3 automatic one way or the other? Maybe even 5-4 tonight? Let's see if anything has got anybody on this one. Andre says Dallas is better than the Knights. Here's Timmy Two Shoes, Canadians and over. Richie's going to go over 4.5, lay a bunch of juice there. What is it, minus 300? Let's see. Canadians puck line and over. Okay. Could be a playoff intensity game here, says Andre. Cal Dog on the over here. And Richie says Anaheim's going to – oh. Yeah, thank you. Over team total there maybe. All right. Richie Rich from Montreal, don't forget, he's wearing the Habitant des Canadiens. Okay, the Habs. All right. It's going to do it there for that one. Let me move on here with another one. Let's get with good, interesting matchup here, huh? How about the Canadians taking on the Ducks here in this one? I'm watching TMZ Sports here. I'm watching Stephon Diggs' mom dance to Cardi B. I don't know what's going on. We know Diggs got released. How about that move today by the Bills, making that trade for DJ Moore? Look, I could think of some places where DJ Moore might fit, but I don't know if I can find many places where that makes sense. That makes good sense there. I'm going to put on Australian rules football. That's what I'm going to do. So I want to get ready to watch some footy here right after the show here. We got a game just, I think, at halftime here right now. All right. Oh, man, so honored to have 5 dozen of you here with me tonight on Night Moves. Man, great to be with you here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, the 53,000 subscriber juggernaut. All right. Give me the Ducks in that one. Okay, where's that good one here now? Look at this. Hurricanes and Oilers here in this one. You got Carolina so solid, 39, 16, and 6. The Oilers 30, 24, and 8 right now, but hey, at least the Oilers are coming in off of a home win over Ottawa. It was an overtime game there the other night. They were able to at least get that win. They won 2 of 3. Not playing great right now are the Oilers, but got these wins here of late. Carolina, meanwhile, is playing well. They just beat Vancouver there the other night on the road, 6-4. They did lose to Seattle, but hey, we had Seattle in that one before they were hot, winning against the Rangers, against Tampa, against Detroit. Carolina, 16-8 on the road. The Oilers are a terrible underdog. Just 2-6 ATS as a dog. They are listed as a dog here right now. Although it's close, but the Hurricanes are favored here. Total 6.5 over 30. Again, more goals expected here, big time. In fact, I'm just going to go over here in this one. Look, might be a good price for the Hurricanes, but if you look at overall the way these two teams have met over the last few years, seems like it's over in 5 of the last 7 in the series, over in 5 of the last 7 here. Oilers have gone over in 5 straight and over in 5 of their last 7 at home. Oilers are also 7-1 to the over as an underdog, 21-8 to the over at home. Carolina is 11-17 to the under on the road, but again, they are 30-26 to the over as a favorite. So I'm going to take the over in this one. Carolina's gone over in 6 of their last 9. They've gone under in 5 of their last 7 on the road, but I don't know if they've had a cooperative opponent like this. I got to go over here with Carolina and the Oilers. Doesn't every Oilers game go over right now? They just went over 5-4 against Ottawa, over in a 5-4 loss to San Jose, over in an 8-1 win over LA, over in a 6-5 loss to Anaheim, over in a 4-3 loss to Calgary, and the list goes on. Give me the over here in this one. Carolina and the Oilers. All right, show's almost over. I'm almost out of words. And see here, Carolina for Timmy Two Shoes, Canes in the over for Cal Dog. Andrew wants a pick in the footy game. Andrew, I was watching the golf there, and I didn't change the channel, and I've actually missed the first half. I might have actually been able to handicap on the fly a live in-game play if I would have been watching the first half of the game here, I think. But if anybody is watching here right now, I believe we're on Fox. We're on Fox Sports 2. It's halftime here with Gold Coast leading Geelong 71-29 here. It's a crushing right now between these two. Blowing them out. Okay, let's see here. A few more. Richie going over. Canes for Andrew. Hello to Jermaine in the chat today. And let's see here. Good number for the Canes. I think that might be it. And Cal Dog. What does Cal Dog think? I think Cal Dog might be thinking about a little grand salami today. All right, I got a couple more here. I'm looking at the Blues and the Sharks. Now, the Sharks are slipping, and maybe this one probably, if we were desperate to get rid of some games, maybe we could get rid of the Sharks. I still want to give them a chance. They still have 64 points. They're not done, and they are taking on the last place Blues. So, look, I mean, this is going to be I love the Sharks in this role. Sharks still up 15 units this season, up 10 units at home. St. Louis down 11 units this season, down 8 3/4 units on the road. It's only $1.35, $1.40 here. San Jose's won 3 in a row right now over Edmonton, over Winnipeg, over Montreal. They're on a long homestand. St. Louis, meanwhile, back-to-back wins here on the road over Minnesota and Seattle. Good job, St. Louis. They're still 9-17 on the road. San Jose 17-10 at home. San Jose a favorite for just the 7th time this season. They're only 2-4 as a favorite this year. I'm talking about probably an over here with these two. They're not necessarily big time overs. In fact, the Sharks have been going under here of late. They're 2-4 to the under as a favorite. And St. Louis is 18-24 to the under as a dog. St. Louis has gone over in 7 of their last 10. St. Louis has actually won 10 of their last 14 against San Jose. But remember, San Jose, I'd say dramatically improved this year is a very fair statement. St. Louis has lost 10 of their last 12 on the road. San Jose's won 4 of their last 5 at home. They have lost 10 of the last 13 here to the Blues at home, but like I said, I think it's a different story here right now. I'm going to take the over in this game, actually, between San Jose. I think we're going to try to find a way to get on the Sharks here. I don't know if I can do it as a premium. I don't like to go with a premium, anything, really over $1.40 on this site. In my favorites, we have to draw the line somewhere. But I still think the Sharks can handle this game. But give me the over here in this one with St. Louis and San Jose. Your comments are welcome in the chat. And let's see here. Hofer's going to get pelted, and Cal Dog is liking the Sharks. One more here tonight. Let's go out to right here in Vegas, just minutes away from the satellite studios here with the Golden Knights at home, taking on the Minnesota Wild. Now, the Wild have been just that, Wild with making money here. If you've been on Minnesota, man, they are 36-16-10. Yeah, they lost a couple here recently. They bounced back to the win over Tampa Bay last time out. For VGK, they were able to snap a 3-game losing streak by beating Detroit on the road. They were on a long road trip. They weren't looking good. They had lost 3 in a row. They pulled off a win over Detroit. Now they head back home here. They've won 6 of their last 9 at home, but dropped 5 of their last 10 overall. Minnesota's been a great road team this season, 18-9 on the road. They've won 7 of their last 9. Vegas has always kind of given them trouble. Vegas is 12-5. Last 17 meetings between these two teams. Minnesota's gone over in 14 of their last 17 games, and they've gone over in 7 straight games on the road here. Wow. I'm going to take the Minnesota Wild here in this one to get a upset here of Vegas. Minnesota's won both meetings already this season. They won here 5-2 back in December. They also won at home 3-2 in November in overtime. I'm going to take the Wild here in this one. But were you guys talking Grand Salami over tonight? Because that's what I think I would do. I think the show just ended. Thanks a lot, everybody, for joining me here on Night Moves. What an honor to have nearly 5 dozen of you here joining me on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Want to invite you to go over to our website, Tony'sPicks.com. This is where you get our premium picks, absolutely our best bets every day at Tony'sPicks.com. You know, you might see me here on a few different channels, a few different shows, but just know that this is where I start my day every day here on Night Moves, and my premium picks are on Tony'sPicks.com. These are my high roller boutique picks. These are the ones that I want to put the most money on every day. The strongest picks I have start right here, and then we work down from there. I handicap a lot of games. I handicap the landscape of sports betting. I don't usually have just 1 or 2 plays. If I could be Al Ninos, I would be. If I could just lay out and win every day 1 play, we just go big. I'm just not good enough like my man Al. So we try to do it a little bit different here with a little bit of volume, and I try to focus on the games that I feel like are the most confident. Maybe I should have stuck to the basketball today instead of the tennis, but I'm not going to stop firing tennis tomorrow and then go to the second round out at Indian Wells. Why not grab a 3-day all sports premium pass? I usually come in with anywhere from 5, 7, 9 picks a day with the all sports premium pass for $99. You get my best research right here. With these plays, you know, the ones on the air, yeah, maybe once in a while we do give the strongest play on the show. We got to sometimes, especially with me here last 2 nights, not great on the show, but we were hot over at Tony's Picks for sure. Cooled off here a little bit over the last couple of days, but give me a chance here on Friday with this card. I'm about ready to settle in for some middle of the night capping with some baseball action too. We're already underway here in the World Baseball Classic. Don't forget to look over here and see what's going on over at the WBC right now. Here currently, Japan and Chinese Taipei here going on Friday evening here, actually. We talk about in Japan here right now. You know, Japan here actually designated the road team currently against Chinese Taipei. So I'm going to settle in for that one as well, watch some baseball, and then we got a big card of baseball there with the action on Friday night in the World Baseball Classic. It's going to be a great night of baseball here. So bases loaded right now, though, for Japan here. A big chance here with nobody out. I think they've actually brought in a reliever here. So let's see if Japan can bust through, as we did say on our pregame show here. Ooh, a high pop-up. This one might have a chance, or it might reach the sea. Oh, that's a nice play. A pop-out to the catcher there. All right, gang, that's going to do it. Make sure you use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off those premium pick packages. Want to say hello to Shaq. Maybe he caught up there to us. And USA has an easy route to the championship there. He said, you know, I still feel like, you know, when we get to those games, man, the crowds, look, there's going to be always some rallying, if you will, for the United States here when we get to the next rounds and everything. But man, the Dominican, you've got to give some credit to the Dominican and their fans. I mean, they are rabid And a feeling that they also have good odds too. So that's going to do it, everybody. Thanks a lot. We'll be back here tomorrow with more night moves on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Don't forget, tune in to Tony and his panel in the morning during the morning show here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. And also, we've got the a happy hour with Rod. He's going to have his panel there as well. Get you ready for the primetime action here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Thanks to everyone in the chat. Had a great time here today. This one's deep. Back, grand slam, home run, Japan. Who did it? Oh, just the greatest player in the world just hit a grand slam here in front of this sellout crowd in the Tokyo Dome. There he is, Shohei Ohtani, stirring it up with a grand slam here in the second inning for Shohei Ohtani. What a nice moment here. Wow. He crushed it. Why do you throw? What did you do? You just want to be a hero. Just walk him. Shaq says that should count for the Dodgers. Shaq, I don't want to hear it. You know, I'm a Padres fan. Thanks, everybody. I was glad I could share that with you. All right, it's going to do it here on the Tony's Picks YouTube channel for Night Moves. For the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Las Vegas.